Over the past 12 months, I've audited over 50 LinkedIn accounts for 7 and 8 figure founders, and I keep seeing the exact same pattern. Smart business owners making the exact same mistakes that are destroying their credibility and killing their ability to book high ticket clients. And here's what's wild: the people making these mistakes aren't lazy. They're posting content, they're sending DMs, they're investing time into LinkedIn, but getting absolutely zero return. And I can prove it. Because after fixing these 7 mistakes for our clients, we've helped them book hundreds of qualified sales calls and generate millions in pipeline revenue using LinkedIn as their primary client acquisition channel. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the 7 biggest mistakes people keep making on LinkedIn that are costing them real revenue. And more importantly, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix each one. So if you're a founder, CEO, coach, or service-based entrepreneur who's putting effort into LinkedIn but not seeing the ROI you deserve, watch this entire video because by the end, you'll know exactly what you're doing wrong and what to do differently starting today. Let's dive in. All right, let's get into it. So, mistake number one is actually using automation tools. And I've seen this more times than I can physically count. The amount of accounts I've seen get banned is they're not trying to spam anyone, they're just trying to maybe automate their connection requests, make their outreach a little easier. Just using any of these, and you probably will get banned if you're even the slightest bit of reckless. Especially recently, LinkedIn has been getting super, super strict. I'm not sure why they're so strict. You look at a place like Twitter or Instagram, you don't see people getting banned left and right, but almost every person I've talked to who has been pretty, almost every person I've talked to who is in the LinkedIn space or uses it a lot has at least gotten hit with a scare. So, like a temporary restriction. So, stay away from automation tools, even if it means spending a little extra time sending requests or spending some money on a VA to help you send those, or even your outreach. It's honestly better if you personalize your outreach and handwrite it, but that could mean you handwriting your outreach or you hiring an appointment setter to do it for you. I highly recommend doing that rather than losing your account with an automation that sends DMs and then getting flagged because you can't get it back. I mean, you can, and if you have been banned, let me know down in the comments. I'll help you out. I've done it multiple times. There's actually a method, but yeah, you kind of want to avoid that. So mistake number two is copy pasting AI content straight from ChatGPT. And there's a few reasons for this. So back in, 2022, 2023, when no one could tell, even 2024, when no one could really tell what AI content looked like, it didn't matter. You could copy and paste it and it was great copy. ChatGPT writes super cleanly. It uses it's trained on really good data in terms of what good writing is. However, now it's so easy to spot the patterns. I scrolled LinkedIn for 2 seconds, and it was, this was an AI post. Like, obviously, like, you can't scale chaos. It's just the owners think they're grinding, like the quotation marks, like even the structure is very AI like. And what this does is, first of all, everyone can tell, like I said, this distinct writing style, so like chaos, and it doesn't come from doing more, it comes from doing less better. So it's not X, it's Y. These kind of patterns just tank your trust because once people realize, hey, there's an AI behind this, personal brand, it immediately becomes a massive disconnect. There's no reason to invest or follow in or book a call with someone who has a personal brand on LinkedIn when it's not even a person behind the actual posts. So as more and more people start to realize that AI is so prevalent, like in a lot of these posts, it's nuking trust. So where I see this heading is more and more people trying to make their copy more human-like and have errors in the copy, not make it look super perfect and clean with a bunch of white space, like having blocky paragraphs and using human, word like using words that they would use in a conversation and stuttering a little and having to think about things. I think that is going to build more trust than something like this. I recommend not even posting at all if you don't have the time to actually edit, at the very least, edit your post. So, like, the right way to use AI, because I use AI, is to draft your post with a good prompt, get the body, and then edit the shit out of it to make it sound more like you, inject your personality, take all the AI isms out. And then, yeah, from there, you have a post that actually sounds like you, builds trust, and it reads like a human. So people actually know, hey, there's someone behind this. And I'm continuing to get more and more compliments on my own content that is, handwritten, from people saying, hey, like I could really tell that you wrote this and it was a great read. So I even get that in my DMs all the time, almost every day. So try and manually write your content as much as possible. Mistake three is chasing viral posts instead of qualified leads. This is a big one. Everyone wants the to go viral. It feels good, getting a bunch of likes, getting a bunch of comments. I've been there before. What you start to realize is those posts that go super viral get a bunch of engagement. They don't necessarily move the needle for your business. And they're great once in a while, but really 90% of the time you need to be focused on content that will speak to your prospects and your prospects only. I've written posts that have a million plus impressions and they booked zero calls. Done it multiple times. Not my for clients. I could show you screenshots. We booked zero calls and the founders are very confused, but they don't understand that those super broad posts that are motivational and they appeal to a wide audience, they don't necessarily convert. What converts are the posts that get maybe 10 to 15 likes, but they're super, super personalized to your ICP and your ICP only. So if you're, working with ecom brands doing their email marketing, talking about a specific email flow that they could use, that's not going to attract, a bunch of people out in the space on LinkedIn, but it's going to attract the right people you want to talk to. So brand owners, CMOs, etc. So yeah, stop optimizing for vanity metrics. Optimize for pain points that solve your clients' specific problems. They target their fears, and that position you as an authority in that space. Mistake number four, expecting content alone to book calls. This one is so huge right now because back in 2023, 2024, even, you could just post content that was all right and book a bunch of calls just because no one was really doing it on LinkedIn. Um, People were, but it was still so new. Like nowadays, every single founder at least knows that it's important to post on LinkedIn. So there's so much content out there. Like there's no shortage of, ecom email marketing founders posting on LinkedIn. There's no shortage of SaaS founders posting on LinkedIn. Like everyone is posting. Um, Now it's about making sure your content is super high quality because there's so much content out there. So speaking from your relative experience, not using an LLM, not saying how to do this, instead of how to using how I, generated XYZ amount of leads, how I approach doing this because people want to hear your perspective, not just how to. And then most importantly, sending DMs. A lot of people aren't actually leveraging direct messages on LinkedIn. And even if they are, they don't know how to properly turn their connections into conversations that book calls. So definitely I have a bunch of videos on DMs. Learn how to send high quality DMs. I guarantee you, if you pair the two, your content and DMs, your content's going to be there as a trust vault because content's still important. You want people to land on your profile and read through your post and say, hey, this guy has a good grip on the industry. He's posting client testimonials, he's posting his thoughts on the space. He has a bunch of unique ideas. People like to see that. But you also want to be able to actually convert those eyes with the DMs. So it's so important you're sending high quality DMs. And once again, I have a ton of videos on that, so check those out if you have no idea where to start. Mistake number five, this kind of plays right into what I was just saying, sending generic automated DMs. Stuff like this, I just went through my inbox for 2 seconds, and I'm sure if you guys do the same thing, you'll see this kind of like spam stuff that is not personalized or relevant and at all. This kind of stuff just doesn't work. Everyone can go in their inbox and see this kind of stuff, and it's really annoying. It's really lazy. It's clearly copy and paste. And yeah, it's not going to convert. What's going to convert is sending super specific and personalized and relevant messages that people can actually relate to and care about. That you can actually stand out in the inbox. And I'll send you an example. So here's a DM I just sent, I think an hour ago. Huh, interesting. So yeah, like this is just not I'm not gonna read it, but You can tell an AI did not send this. So specific. It's super relevant. It's super personal. That's amazing. I get this every day in my DMs. So these kind of compliments, they go a long way. Um, Spend the time to really manualize your outreach. And once again, go on my other videos and check out how, we approach it, how we're getting 25 to 35% reply rates. Um, and yeah, that should teach you a bunch. So personalization wins on LinkedIn nowadays instead of this slop. I highly recommend you, take the time to really sit down and write your DMs with a psychological approach. Number six, this is a really important one, having a vague profile. Once again, I scrolled through my LinkedIn for 2 seconds to find this guy. No hate to Nate. This is just some constructive criticism. If people land on your profile and they have no clue what you do, you're not going to convert any traffic. Like, let's build your lead generation machine together. That's sort of specific, but once again, I don't know what his outcome is. Like, what lead gener with what? How is he getting me leads? Ever wonder what Tony Stark would be without Jarvis? I build it like that. What does that mean? No one wants to guess what this means when they land on your profile. They just want to know, hey, I'm going to book you 5 to 10 calls a month with LinkedIn. Like, okay, cool. And they don't want to see this open to work. This is a immediate authority, like bomb. Like this will nuke your trust. No one wants this comes across as very desperate. So do not have this green ring. Um, yeah, and then it's just very vague. M dash. Yeah, just you want to have a real picture of you as well. This is going to nuke your trust, but you want to use specific language, clear positioning, and then have an immediate value proposition. So once again, like I said, an example, I help, B2B founders book 5 to 10 calls a month with LinkedIn. That's super specific. You know exactly. You can go on my profile. Since I was referring to it, you immediately know like clean banner, nothing, my actual face. You know exactly what I do. There's social proof here as well, and you know exactly the outcome you get. So yeah, it makes it a lot higher converting. And then lastly, quitting way too early. This may come across as a little cliche, but it's super, super common. People think they'll post for 2 weeks and they expect to start booking calls immediately. Once again, that's not how it works. LinkedIn is not that blue of an ocean anymore. Everyone kind of knows they need to be on LinkedIn. Building an authority and generating lead takes time on LinkedIn. Usually 36 months before you start seeing any, real traction with your posts. DMs, you can start booking calls immediately if you know how to do it right. Once again, go check out my other videos. But content is a long game. LinkedIn is a long game. Building a real brand on there is a long game. So don't quit too early. It takes quite a bit of time. Just stay consistent, get really good results for your clients, post about it, be consistent, and yeah, you'll be straight. So there you have it. Those are the 7 biggest LinkedIn mistakes that are costing you clients and cash right now. But the harsh reality of this is knowing what these mistakes are and actually implementing the fixes consistently are two completely different things. Most people who try to do this alone will end up burning months of their time trying to master their profile, master their content, write really good DMs, and then actually build a system to manage it all while running their actual business. And let's be honest, as a business owner, you don't have time to become a LinkedIn expert on top of everything else you're juggling. And that's exactly why I built my agency, Rip Lead Generation. We essentially handle everything A to Z, your profile, your content, your outbound, your pipeline management. That way you can really just focus on what you do best, which is serving your clients at the highest level and running your own business. So if you want us to audit your LinkedIn account for free and let me show you exactly which one of these 7 mistakes you're making and how much money you're actually leaving on the table with LinkedIn, click the link in the description and book a call with us. I'll jump on a quick 45-minute call. We'll walk through everything, see if it's a fit, and then we'll go from there. But if you found this video valuable, smash that like button, hit subscribe, check out my other videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.